Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
You can get around 80 to 100% hike in a service based.
Okay.
And there is no limit in product based.
So, what mistakes someone can avoid in their resume, or what things can they put also in the resume so that it gets selected?
A professional with 2 to 3 years of experience, one cloud is good. I mean, Azure nowadays has higher integration with the database.
How important is it to learn some visualization tool? Is it used by data engineers? Is it not used by data engineers? How is it? How many rounds I am expecting from an organization? Let's say EPAM, right? How many rounds were there for the interview?
This is a very popular thing you have asked, everybody on LinkedIn nowadays asks me like how much DSA we need to learn or something. Because I told them, okay, they asked me one or two questions.
Hi, Anirudh Mathur. Thank you for joining this podcast. I'm really happy that you are here to share your experience with the audience. So, without any further discussion from my end, I would like you to begin with where are you exactly from? When did you pass out from your bachelor's? And what was your first company? And how exactly you transitioned from one company to another and your career wise?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Shilpa, for inviting me to your podcast. I mean, the pleasure is all mine. Hey, I am Anirudh Mathur. I am from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. I uh, I went to Dehradun for my BTech, and I joined Wipro in 2016, almost spending around almost a decade in various roles in data field. I switched to EPAM recently, in just 2 months back. So coming to my experience, I have total 9.5, almost 9.5 years of experience in data field. I started my career as an ETL developer. Then I worked across the roles from ETL developer to data analyst and then to data modeling also. And then from past like 3 years, I am into data engineering. And across the business domains I worked is prominent domains is healthcare and online gaming platform. One of the online gaming platforms was there. So yeah. So that's my brief introduction. Uh,
Okay, thank you so much. So it's almost a decade, as you said, right? So how was your experience so far in corporate? I know it's too much, but how is it for you?
So, Shilpa, this EPAM is my second company.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Wipro. Wipro was my first company. I have spent 9 years in Wipro, 9.5 years you can say approx because I just joined EPAM. Starting with the ETL development I mean, I was in support initially. So you can't say actual development, but I was in ETL support. Then I gradually moved to ETL development. I don't know if nowadays, I don't know if somebody has heard the technology SaaS. There was a technology called SaaS. So we used to do ETL development in SaaS. I think there is a similar software called Informatica was also there. Nowadays, Informatica is much popular in warehouse development. So yeah, so I gradually moved to the ETL development within the same team, and then there were some migrations project I handled as a data analyst. Um, and apart from that, then I moved like when I thought in 2022 that SaaS is not gonna take me to the heights of my career. So I was actually literally confused what to pick because there are two things now in data field, like high paying jobs are there in either in data science or in data engineering, right? So I did a brief, like a PGP diploma kind of thing in AI ML also. But it didn't like what you can say is like you cannot get that particular role until you don't get the desired experience. Okay. um, and it doesn't closely relates. Now you can say that data science relates to data engineering because of agentic AI and all those stuff. But at that time in 2021 and 2022, it can't relate to the, if you know just SQL, you can't make it to the data science role, I would say. So, and you need some practical experience to switch also.
Right.
So then I was confused, like what to do. Mid-career crisis also happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that time, one of my friends suggested, okay, why don't you learn Python and, this big data thing, and gradually move to this field because it closely relates to what you are doing right now. So luckily, I got one project in Wipro, and they were using Spark, uh, PySpark, and Databricks was just they have started you like onboarded into the project. And at that time, frankly speaking, I didn't know anything related to big data concepts or even Databricks or Spark, nothing, nothing. I just knew I was good at SQL. I need to do some, developmental work related to SQL transformations and all, and that's it. But again, uh, that was like a, hindrance to my, career growth. So then I picked one of the big data courses. Um, I if so if I think he's a popular name in the big data community, Sumit Mittal. So I took his one of his courses and switched into like the journey began. It almost took me around 1 year to complete that course, and parallelly working in the Databricks in one of the projects, and that's how I learned you know big data, data engineering. So yeah, so I've almost spending 3 years, almost two and a half, 3 years in Wipro into data engineering domain. I just recently switched to EPAM now
Okay.
as a senior data engineer. Yeah. So yeah, that's the crux, what I would say. Yeah.
That's a long journey, and like it's very fortunate to get some opportunity inside a company into data engineering from ETL. So that's a very good thing. So if you compare about ETL developer and your maybe a data engineer, like what similarity do you see, or what kind of differences do you see among these two roles?
So by the similarity, I can say that it's similar. I mean, like it's like 80% similar what we are doing right now. Okay. So there also you have, three-layer architecture. Here also we have three-layer architecture in Databricks. And ultimately you are storing your data in tables only. Okay. So it's all relational data, right? The way now things work in, from traditional data warehouses into data engineering domain, you can say, or you can say the modern Delta Lake warehouses is like, there is a lot of variety in data. I mean, uh, data sources now, like you can ingest semi-structured data, like logs and all. You are extracting the meaningful data out of it and then creating a pipeline. Then there is, that cannot happen in the traditional data warehouses. Like you have to have proper file sources. Either you are connecting to the RDBMS source or something like that in data warehouses. So that was a limitation, and also scalability. I mean, like uh, application has their own traditional data warehouses were bound to some. They were not open source. They were bound to some licensed software, and then they have their own limitations, right?
Mhm.
Databricks and PySpark is an open source environment, and it's a scalable also. They can handle a lot of amount of data as well. So yeah, I mean, uh, moving to, and then again there was like in the, if you go back in the ETL scenarios, we have on-premise services, right? And here we have both, like on-premise as well as now cloud is booming. AWS, Azure, GCP, everybody is offering Delta Lake services. So I mean, that's how it's changed. But the way of doing things, like creating a pipeline, making it scale, making it, making clean data, and removing data duplication, all those stuffs, data quality checks, whatever we were doing at that time, we were doing the same thing. Like the functionality remains the same, but the scenarios have changed now. I mean, related to the yeah.
Okay, it's like a modernization way of doing things. Earlier, it was the same thing, but in a scalable way. It is a modern way of doing things. That's good. And when
Yeah.
you transition from the ETL developer to this, what was your checklist that these things I need to learn in order to move to data engineering?
So, I also Googled few bits like what to, at least just start your journey with the data engineering, then what you need to learn. I started learning Python, okay, as one of our languages, and I was pretty good at SQL at that time. But again, there is a scope of enhancement, improvements, So you need to be really good with Python and SQL. That's what I feel. And eventually, you have to learn new languages related to, big data. Like nowadays, that time, like everybody is using PySpark now, and in Databricks also, PySpark is closely integrated. So yeah, I mean, these three things are the, core fundamentals. At least in programming, from programming perspective, you should know Python really well, SQL very well, and PySpark really well. I mean, at least if these three things are sorted, rest of the other things can be managed.
Yeah, that's true because I think those things take a lot of time to prepare. Um, Takes a lot of devotion as well to do it. So you were working in Wipro, and then when you tried switching the company, because it was a long time in Wipro, did you face any challenge while applying to other companies? Because company do look for candidates who have more experience, but in wider technologies. You do have it, but any challenges you faced in that?
Um, I mean, if I would say that when I was prepared with all the things, firstly, you should be, the conscience should come from your inside, like, that are you prepared for the interviews or not? Okay, just for the sake of sitting in an interview, you shouldn't do it. I mean, it will definitely break your confidence. So first of all, be prepared that are you good with Spark fundamentals, are you like the internals, and are you aware of the big data concepts, and are you aware of all the, like, how you design a pipeline or all those stuff. If you are good with that, then only sit in the interviews. So coming to the back to your question, regarding calls, interview calls, I didn't face much challenges because if you are creating your LinkedIn profile in a very effective manner and your resume is ATS compliant, uh, so I think you'll definitely get a call from good companies here and there. So I mean, big four are there to, they are actively hiring data engineers. Then there are service based like TCS, Infosys, EPAM, and Wipro also hires a lot of data engineers. So I mean, Infosys. So I mean, you don't have a shortage of calls when you are actually starts seeking for new job opportunities in the market. At
Okay.
least not for data engineering, what I would say. So
Yeah.
all the thing is, like, if you're not getting any calls, then I think there's a problem in your, either in your resume, you are not highlighting things properly.
Okay.
And that's it. Because people say that you might have noticed that January, February, March, first quarter is the most active quarter. People hire at then, like HRs hire data engineers at that time, and all. I think I would say that they hire data engineers throughout the year. I mean, I am not sure. I
True.
am. I think I would say I have joined EPAM on 20th November, I would say, and that's almost Diwali time, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and I was still receiving calls at that time. So anybody who is just feeding you this information that
Mm.
if that quarter is gone, and I mean, and then you are saying, okay, let me try next year. No, just go for it. Whole year is open for you to get into data engineering.
That's actually an amazing insight because I have come across few students who have asked me, like, shall I only apply this January to March? This is the maximum time in which HR hire. And you gave a very good insight. You join in November and you got hired in November itself, right? So This is a live example, I would say, whoever is watching, it's not only from Jan to March that you can apply. Okay, so if in case you are not getting calls in for interview, it means definitely something is wrong in CV. So what mistakes someone can avoid in their resume, or what things can they put also in the resume so that it gets selected?
Okay. So, firstly, the thing is that if you have any certifications, proper certification, international certifications, do mention it. I mean, like that at least will get you shortlisted for some of the companies. And if you don't have it, like me, I have not done any international certification. So, then you have to make it more, three things you need to focus on. Like when you are mentioning your projects, first mention what was the business outcome, like what you were doing exactly in the project, what is your role, what technologies you are using in that project, and what was the business outcome when you created that pipeline. Okay, so these things needs to be mentioned in a resume so that and whatever things you used, like how optimization techniques, if you are using in PySpark, Databricks, you need to mention that in your project description in a very subtle manner.
Mm,
Okay, need to give paragraphs about your project, you just need to give 1 or 2 lines, 3 lines, but you need to mention everything in a crux.
okay.
Okay, and at least mention uh, 3 to 6, 3 to 5 projects in your resume. I mean, there can be one big project, but you have done, let's say you have designed 3 to 5 pipelines, okay, or data pipelines, then please do mention that and the business outcome of it, okay,
Okay.
and how did it benefit to the client organization. All those things should be mentioned in a resume in a very subtle manner, and you should, I mean, these are the things to go. I mean,
Okay, okay, yeah, because it needs to be highlighted. Otherwise, I think CVs are not getting shortlisted.
correct, correct.
Fail making the CVs properly. Okay, so if once you get the CV shortlisted, but you need to prepare, as you mentioned, there are few technologies that you need to keep in mind. But apart from that, there are so many technologies in data engineering right now that people get confused also. What percentage of those tools and technologies should one be an expert in order to go ahead and get an interview call and like success in that interview?
Okay. So Shilpa, the thing is that you have a human brain, you cannot master everything, right? So what I would say is that firstly, be very specific what you want to do in data engineering. Don't just go for the tools and all. Okay. One programming language is sufficient. Nowadays, Python is on boom. Okay, so you should be really good with Python, PySpark. Okay. Then SQL is the like core of data engineering. One should be really good with SQL. Even if the AI models are coming, Chat GPT is coming, and people say, okay, syntax is not relevant. I am also saying syntax is not relevant,
Mhm.
but you should be very good with SQL. Okay, still. Okay. So these two things. Then comes your what kind of so like compute you are using, like so let's say nowadays Databricks is one of the promising technologies. Snowflake is also there, but let's say if we I am a Databricks person, so I would say if you are Databricks, then you should be good with Databricks as well as Spark. Okay, so Spark fundamentals, the core enterprise environment, that also you should be aware of. Okay,
Okay.
so like how to design a cluster, what size cluster do you need, what like you should be able to answer these questions. What size of cluster are you using in, and what is the volume of data you were handling, all those stuffs, all those internals you need to know as a data engineer. And apart from that, again, cloud environments, and like nowadays all three are good. I mean, Azure, GCP, AWS, all are good. If you are I would say, a professional with 2 to 3 years of experience, one cloud is good. I mean, Azure nowadays has higher integration with the Databricks. You can learn Azure any day. I mean, it's really good. Every small or big company is using Azure. So Azure is on the boom. Then there is AWS. Okay. So, and let's say if you are a professional with 6 to 7, 8 years of experience in data engineering, specific to data engineering experience, then I think two clouds would be enough. Azure, AWS, Azure GCP, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that's the total thing you want to learn. Apart from this, if you have, then again your experiences count, right? If you are have done some data analysis in the past, that actually helps in the interview. Data modeling, if you have done, if you are into like if you have done data modeling before
Mhm.
anywhere in one of your projects, then actually that helps. That you can also mention, so it adds you as a feather in your resume. It
Okay.
actually boosts your profile. So actually, in nutshell, they are not just getting a data engineer. They are also getting a person who knows data modeling, and he's capable of architecting things also.
Okay.
Data, kind of a data architect person they are getting an organization. So all these aspects. Then again, yeah, that's what I feel. I would say that a person should know.
So I have one question. Like I have seen in a lot of courses, or you can say free tutorials and blogs, they mention a project, right? When you are building a project. In that, they also include Power BI, dashboards creation. How important is it to learn some visualization tool? Is it used by data engineers? Is it not used by data engineers? How is it?
So I would not recommend anyone, if he's into core data engineering, go for a data visualization tool or something. If you are in let's say if you are getting engaged in a project and you have created data pipeline and then they are asking you to do some work on Power BI, then you can maybe learn and do something. But as in preparation, if you ask me, not required,
Okay.
not required at all.
That's very important, I think, because people get confused because in most of the project, what if they do is they create the project and at the end they create a dashboard. So that is actually, I also think it's not required as per my experience. But yeah, you also mentioned it, so got a clarity on that. So now if someone has to build a project, they have not been in data engineering field. So what kind of project someone needs to build in order to get a clarity how data engineering works and how what needs to be presented to the interviewer so that they understand that yes, he or she has a knowledge of data engineering.
Okay. So thing is that if you are very new to the uh, data engineering domain, and let's say you are a college fresher or just graduated from the college, then what I would suggest is seek simple projects, maybe take some help of AI tools, and download the data, do some digging on the data analysis portions and all, and share the outcomes of that project. Okay. And you can also say that I have created, you can mention all the things, right? That you have worked on this size cluster. I mean, you have to spend some amount from your own pocket, but then you can say, okay, I have worked on this size cluster, and these were my this is the size of the data I was handling. And then you can mention all these points, like this was the data analysis done, and what were the outcomes of those data analysis. Okay. So, healthcare, I would say healthcare projects are readily available, banking projects are readily available, banking use cases, healthcare use cases are there, healthcare data use cases. So one can pick in any of the fields, like
Mhm.
so. I think don't be, uh, because don't be too, I would say, like very don't go into that domain projects which are very specific. Okay, then the interviewer might have chance, okay, you might be faking it or something like that. Okay,
Okay.
if they show some experience or something like that, unless you have not worked on it. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's good to mention some healthcare and banking projects in your resume if you are a fresher, and what the data analysis you have done,
Mm-hmm.
Like what were your outcomes,
Mm-hmm.
and you can mention, okay, which technologies you have used to, um, schedule, how you have, ingested the data, then how you have, what compute you have used, and how do you have scheduled the pipeline. So yeah, and one more point I missed. Yeah, one of the scheduling tools you need to learn. I mean, there are a lot of good things right now. ADF is there, Databricks workflows are there, then Airflow is there. So whatever floats your boat.
Okay.
So
Okay, that
yeah.
sounds good. So now let's say project is built, my CV is ready. Now I am ready for the interview. Okay. Now how many rounds I am expecting from an organization, let's say EPAM, right? How many rounds were there for the interview?
So I faced around 4 rounds in EPAM. Okay, one of them was coding round. First was coding round. They checked the coding capabilities in Python and SQL both.
Okay.
Uh, then came the first technical round. Okay,
Mhm.
so in that they asked me all the data engineering fundamentals. Okay, from big data concepts to Spark internals to Databricks optimizations to Spark optimizations, everything. And they ask you Python, they ask you to solve some Python questions, okay, SQL questions, Python questions related to, I would say, a little bit to DSA, data structures and algorithms. And the second technical round, same on same pattern. Okay, just a little bit more, would say uh, the difficulty level was a little bit high, or you can say that. And then I think if you are clear with all these 3 rounds, then there is managerial round, and then after that, if you clear that, then you are onboarded. So all those things are there. So uh,
So basically three or
so the,
four rounds are there in EPAM.
three
Okay.
or four three or four rounds you can expect, like in three or four, for EPAM I can say there are 3 4 rounds. For
Mhm.
other companies, service based companies, you can have 3 rounds max to max.
Okay.
And for product based, I think there are more than that. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how it goes.
As you mentioned DSA, there was a question in Python, right? So what all things one need to prepare in DSA? Because DSA is very vast, right? So any specific topics one need to know.
So what would I suggest is that you are not a front end developer, so you don't need to be, hard. Like you need to don't go hard on DSA. You should not be some a champion in DSA or something like that. Do low level and medium level based questions on famous topics
Mhm.
like arrays, linked lists, tab queues, trees, you know graphs. Just low level and medium level questions, because you are a data engineer, you are not a front end developer who is good, need to be very good at DSA. Okay, they just, why DSA are like asked nowadays is just they don't want to think how good with your logic and all, logic building and all. Okay, so that's why they ask. So I mean, uh, this is a very popular thing you have asked. Everybody on LinkedIn nowadays ask me like how much DSA we need to learn or something, because I told them, okay, they asked me 1 or 2 questions.
Mhm.
So I told them low level and medium level based questions,
Okay.
and
So,
that would you'll be able to clear almost every company, I would say,
mhm.
if you have done that properly. Yeah.
So if someone is preparing for DSA, how much time they need to devote, like how much time frame they will require in order to prepare at least low to medium level of questions?
So if I can say, let's say, uh, 7 to 8 questions per pattern.
Okay.
Okay, that makes your 75 to 80 questions in total.
Mm-hmm.
Then you should need at least around 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But in those 3 months, you should not leave data engineering. Okay, you need to prepare for data engineering as well. Okay,
That's
don't go hard on DSA. Don't go hard on DSA. I mean, you can practice 1 or 2 questions a day. Okay, and that will be all. In most of the companies, they don't even ask, but there are few companies nowadays, service based companies are asking few questions related to arrays.
Mm-hmm.
Like some popular questions are there. You can find a link in on LinkedIn. Everybody is sharing those lists, 75 questions to master and all those stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So do that. Don't do more than that. But yeah, do it effectively. It's not like that you're mugging up the questions. Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah. That's what, yeah, that's
Just
good insight because DSA is something people get afraid how to do it and these questions, right? So, in the meanwhile, people forget data engineering as well, as you mentioned. They are doing DSA and they forgot everything related to data engineering. Now, if I talk about, like, let's say, not talk about DSA and for just for data engineering, all these things that you are learning, how much time one need to complete the whole thing?
okay. Again, it's a very debatable topic. So the thing is that what's your pace? And again, if you are working professional, what's the work pressure? Okay. If
Mm.
you are engaged in a very high-end stakes project and you are working 10 hours, so I would say that at least spend 3 to 4 hours a week, you know, and that would take your learning to, let's say, 6 to 7 months. Okay. If you are starting from scratch, okay.
Mhm.
If you are already a data engineer and you know basic concepts and you just need to brush up for the interview, I think 2 months is enough.
Okay. Okay. So, like were working and then were also preparing. I know you were already in the data engineering field, but how do you manage? Because there's a lot of work. People work more than 9 hours nowadays in corporate, right? So, and then you have family, you have other commitments and everything. So, how did you manage that time?
So my schedule was, spent 1 hour before joining the work. Okay. So when you are just logging in into your work, just spend 1 hour before that learning all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, spend one more hour after when you are finished with your work. And just prioritize things. I mean, see, after working for 9 hours, your brain and you are also tired long enough. I mean, your brain doesn't function properly. So study those things which does not require your too much brain activity, I would say, after working for 9 hours. Like you can do some, after working for 9 hours, you can do some watch videos, related to PySpark questions, how they are getting solved, and coding questions. And let's say before logging in, you are fresh, and you can retain things. At that time, you can study Databricks fundamentals or Spark fundamentals, revise that. Okay,
Okay.
so that's how you want to break it even. Uh, you know because both the things are important, but again, you need to see your energy levels and then you need to plan accordingly.
Yeah.
And I have seen your videos, Shilpa, on your YouTube channel for interview questions when I was preparing.
Thank you.
So
It's something like you pointed out a very good thing which I have not heard so far is 1 hour you're giving before your work starts, but after the work also you're giving, but you are giving something which is easy to learn at that particular time, right? You're not putting so much of effort because you get tired after work, like 9 hours. You have put so much of brain in your work, right? So now you need something which is relaxing, which is really nice. Like people don't do that. They're like, let's do some chill and let's watch some videos, let's do some Netflix, Amazon Prime, and so on. But they don't study. I think that's a very good strategy people can adapt, like to get something which is really not so hectic to learn. That, thank you so much for sharing that, I would say. Okay, so now let's say you have cracked the interview, right, with the preparation and everything. Now comes about the salary, right? Because every organization has its own band to give the salary. So if I would say something who have 8 to 10 years of experience, what band of salary a data engineering can accept, like expect, right, from a service-based organization?
okay, so 8 to 10 years experience in data engineering or 8 to 10 years experience as a whole?
I could say a whole 10 years.
So again, it depends upon your previous CTC. Okay,
Mm.
what you are getting in your previous organization. Okay, uh, I would still recommend data engineering is such a booming field that if you negotiate wisely, you can get around 80 to 100% hike in a service based.
Okay.
And there is no limit in product based because I have seen people taking 200% hike in product based, and that's something very remarkable. I mean, I would say people are getting 200% hike in Big Four also. I mean, nowadays. But again, you need to negotiate very wisely, and it all depends on your previous CTC. If you are already on the high range, right, then if there is a product based company, still they will give you more hike. Service based company, they'll give you standard 60-70% hike.
Okay.
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 So it all depends on the previous CTC and how you negotiate
That's
and how many offers do you have in your hand. That's usually I recommend people don't get, 7 to 8 offers and, break hearts of other companies. Okay. Just get 2 or 3 good offers and that should be enough. Okay. And because you have to stay relevant in the market.
Mm.
If you are ultimately you are getting 8 offers and you are rejecting 7 and getting into one company, you are breaking hearts of 7 other HRs. Okay,
That-
next time they'll remember you. I hope.
That's true. That's true. And that should not happen. People bag around saying that there are 10 offers they have. Why you need 10 offers to select just one company? You can have maximum two or three and select the one that you want to join. I think that's very smart. And HR may get angry on you as well. So if you are very
Because they you see the thing is you think they won't remember you after 2 or 3 years, but they do.
yes.
Okay, so what I would say, and if you want to break hearts for some some small startup companies. Okay,
Mhm.
don't actually the companies which you admire, please don't break hearts for those HRs. So just get 2 or 3 good offers, and that should be enough, I guess.
Yeah. So, is there any strategy that you followed to maybe join an organization? Let's say salary is something different, but apart from salary, what do you can look for joining an organization?
Okay, so thing is, I would be really blunt about it. You said that salary is out of the question. I mean, my motivation factor is finance always. Because everybody is doing some great work and data engineering work is almost same everywhere. You are dealing with same things everywhere. So finance is one of the aspect, but yeah, also see the reputation of that company. Ask fellow employees if you have LinkedIn connects and all, like how's the environment in that company, uh, you know, and will you be able to cope up with that environment? Okay. So usually people on LinkedIn ask me how's things at EPAM and all those stuff because they tell me, okay, I have cleared second round of EPAM. I'm almost at the verge of, getting selected. Like how's the environment in EPAM? Okay. So you tell them the truth. Okay, it's very good. Like depends. Tell them the truth. Okay, whether it's a high paced environment you need to adapt yourself quickly, or it's a relaxed base, like it's relaxed and all. Usually one cannot comment about by amount environment on service based because it depends on project to project. There's a high end stakes project, timelines are very short, you are loaded with work and all, and there are some projects where you can do 7 to 8 hours of work and then you can sit and relax. Okay, so that is that, and check the reputation of the company. If you are able to see the client list on their websites, that gives some impression about the company and all.
Okay.
And ask your fellow managers, um, because they like if you let's say you're working in your company, your managers have idea about if do you have a good bonding with them, ask them about like how's this company and all. So and like I'm going to this company, and be very open about it. Okay, have casual conversations. Okay, yeah, that helps. um,
Okay, okay, yeah, because conversation can only help you understand how the work environment is, right? So, yeah, and the brutal truth is, yes, salary is something every data engineering is working is in the same way, but salary is something different for every data engineer, right? So, now if I come about, let's say you have the journey from ETL to data analyst to data engineer. So how did you cope up with upskilling? Because you have to upskill it every time to be relevant in the market.
Again, I was into ETL development. Frankly, I will tell you one thing. I when I was in college, I studied one book related to data mining. Okay,
Mhm.
so everybody wanted to be a front-end developer at that time, but data mining, I studied one of the subjects, and I was very curious about it. Okay. So from the starting of my career, I was like, I want to be a data scientist. I wanted to be a, something data mining expert, something like that. Coming to the Wipro. Okay. So first 6 months I was a manual tester. Okay. So uh, then I joined into ETL development. Okay. So 6 months is something you cannot consider yourself as a, testing environment you were in that. So it was just like joining, you can say.
Yeah.
Um, I used to crave about a lot. Okay, yeah, like I want to get into data science or something, machine learning stuff and all. But there was, so there was one senior who told me, okay, at least you are in analytics domain. That's good, right? Appreciate that. So again, I learned that thing. Okay, that was relevant to the market at that time. And then when I thought you just need to follow the current trends, that's what I would say. Okay. Uh, what's there in the market, what's the demand. Okay, if they are saying, okay, nowadays Spark and Databricks on the moon, learn that. Okay, concepts remain same. It's just that the tools and the things are getting changing. Okay, people were working on relational data with DMS from long time, and still now they are working on that only, just the tools are getting changed, right?
Yeah.
Concepts remain same. So upskill yourself according to the market needs. Nowadays there is a lot of Gen AI boom, agentic AI, all those things are there. Learn that in your own time. Try to do some projects on that. If you get lucky, then might be in your organization you will get one or two projects. That is the best. I mean, practical learning is the best way to,
Yeah.
learn any technology. Any course, like I would say, course usually helps, doing a course or something, but uh, I would say this frankly, very frankly, you can do any course on data engineering, but that doesn't guarantee you a job. Okay, so you need to focus more on practical learning. Whatever course you are doing, try to get a project in your organization related to that. Okay, so that will, now the practical learning starts. Okay, you are learning there the concepts, then you need to apply those concepts in your, practical learning. And the pitfalls of the project also, like what's happening in a data pipeline in a real environment, right?
Hmm.
Like I'll tell you my personal learning. Nobody, uh, no course, I mean, like there are scenarios like CDCs. You are also a data engineer, right?
Yeah.
So there are scenarios related to CDC, reconciliation of data, and all those stuff. No course teaches you that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That can happen only through practical learning. So let's say if you are doing some Gen AI course, do that,
Okay.
but try to get a project in your organization, in your current organization,
Yeah.
and work for at least 1.5 years on that project, so that you are accustomed to all the practical outputs of
Right.
that project, practical learnings, so that you can, wherever you go from one company to another, you can apply that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
I think
so
that's a
that's
very important point you mentioned. Practical implementation is very important. Those courses are only theoretical and everything you are learning, but you have to implement it practically. That's what you mentioned,
I
right?
won't say I won't say the courses are theoretical, but it's something what the practical environment gives you that cannot be provided in a in a course.
That's true. That's true. Okay. That's a great thing. Now you have worked in healthcare domain as well, right? Is there anything that is challenging in healthcare domain?
Um, I was mostly into the data extraction and all those stuffs. I don't have idea about the data science use cases and all. Challenging, I would say, again depends on environment, like on the companies, like what are the data sources and all those stuffs. So, uh, like in my experience, I have dealt with the data sources related to mainframes. Okay,
Okay.
then there was Oracle data and data source was there, and DB2 data sources are there. Then there were, flat files coming from, mainframes and all, binary files and all.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends upon the data ingestion sources. Mostly, uh, I mean, it all depends on data sources, like how varied they are.
Right.
Uh, Mostly, I don't know. I mean, like I have not seen data streaming use cases in healthcare
Right.
as of now, but they might exist. Okay,
Mm.
so usually you will see some flat files arriving on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, something like that, and some relational database data RDBMS data you will be extracting from the tables, like related to claims, okay, healthcare claims. Then there are policy related data is there. Then there is member level data, all those stuff. Use cases, if you come to, then you are, um, uh, fraudulent claim detection, all those stuffs are there for
Okay.
the use cases. So basically you design pipeline for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, then premium paid data is there, like how much premium you are paying for that particular policy or something. So premium related data. Again, not it all depends on what.
That you have basically, right? Use case, and then if then case there's any challenges in it. Okay. I just have a last question here. So AI is completely in boom, right? So what do you think in future for data engineers, how helpful AI will be? And like there's a pretty famous thing that's going on. You can say that will be taking the jobs. What do you think about that as well?
Shilpa, actually, internet got lagged. Actually, can you repeat your question
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
please?
sure, sure. So I was saying AI is in boom right now, and data engineers are using AI in and out to create the code or something. So what do you think? What will be the impact on data engineers uh, once AI is in full-fledged used?
I think they are still gonna be relevant, okay? The thing is, fingers crossed. So the thing is, AI won't tell you, the practical pitfalls coming in your pipeline, okay? They might help you with the error, okay? But it's up to data engineer how to, correct those pitfalls in a pipeline, and um, sizing the cluster and all those stuffs, okay?
Okay.
What is the volume of data? Again, if you are doing some data modeling on that data, that's up to a data engineer, data analyst, and data architect people. Okay, nobody can take it away from that. AI might help you with the coding,
Mm.
okay, but I won't think they'll be able to, impact data engineering mind, where you have to set up the infrastructure, on your own. There are, what's the best thing you do in a data engineering? You get into a data migration project, okay, that will teach you everything from the scratch. And I mean, if you are the administrator of some technology, you have all the rights to, start the cluster, drop the cluster, and you have everything to manage the infra cost and everything. Then that's the learning, nobody can take it away from you. And that's the best thing to go for a data engineer. That's a dream project come true, what I would say.
Okay.
Okay. So that's, I mean, data AI might help all this chat GPT model. Even I take help of chat GPT a lot with the, uh, not SQL statement syntax, the other thing syntax, like if you are designing a framework, automated framework or something like that. But it still doesn't take my credibility, in designing a pipeline or something like that.
Yeah. I think AI is
So
like an
chill and relax.
right. AI, you are using it as an assistant, but the main work you are doing it, so it's a helper basically. So that's what. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds actually good because people get afraid saying that AI is going to take our jobs because AI can write SQL, Python, and every code. But how exactly it will build the pipelines, or maybe how it will exactly think the strategic, right, and the infrastructure behind that as well. It becomes difficult. So implementation will be done
AI won't help you.
by.
Correct, correct. Implementation will be done by a data engineer, and AI won't help you getting cleared an interview. Okay, so you need to be good with syntax
Okay,
at least while giving an interview.
that's very important actually. Okay.
When you are sitting with an interviewer and they ask you a Python, like solve it in front of me, and you are typing, you have to be very good with SQL syntax.
Yeah.
There, AI won't help you. Okay,
Yeah.
so all those things, AI can't help you with that.
Okay, thank you so much. I like it. It's a very wide conversation starting from your journey to ETL to new technologies to AI. Like, I really love the conversation. I hope the same goes for the audience who are watching this particular video. And let's see where the everything goes in the data engineering field in the next coming years. And it's going to remain as it is, hopefully, again, fingers crossed. And I think maybe in future we will sit down again if the time permits, and we'll have a great more discussion as well. Thank you so much
Sure,
for
Shilpa,
coming,
sure.
Anirudh.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Pleasure was all mine.
Thank you. Have a
And big fan of your work. Big fan of your work.
thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.